And you're right, Sue.
Wonderful. Hello, 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 and welcome to Innovate, Ignite, and Inspire, Conversations That Count, sponsored by sacredyou.love, as always. Our topic tonight is stretching our borders. How far are we willing to extend our future dreams? Our panelists will explore the very essence of human ambition, challenging the boundaries that define our future dreams. Stretching borders promises to ignite our viewers' curiosity and inspire contemplation about the limitless potential that awaits us in the future. Conversations like this are just one of the many reasons that I absolutely love sacredyou.love. It's truly unique for all that it brings to our members and to the public at large. I'm Sue Rumack, a member of Sacred You, and I'm also the host on Sacred You of a tribe called Life Force Activators. And tonight, I am the leader for this conversation. In a moment, our experts will introduce themselves to you and tell us why they are excited about balancing. No, it's not about balancing technology. It's about, hold on a second, ah, stretching our borders. I've got my notes. I don't have a great memory, but I'm adorable anyway. Okay. Um, Okay. Now, before we start, I'd like to say hello to our audience, and I'd like to invite you all to please use the chat to put in your questions to become part of this interactive conversation. It's so important to us to hear your voice along with ours. So ask your questions and don't be shy. Are we ready to get started? Yes, we are. I'm going to invite our panelists right now to introduce themselves and tell us why you are excited about this particular topic, stretching our borders. Skye, how about we start with you? Why are you excited about all this tonight?
Well, I'm super excited because, well, one, this is a topic really, really close to my heart. I definitely believe that there needs to be a merge within like Western society, Western medicine, culture, and holistic and spiritual practices. There is a time and place for everything that I believe, and like really like my goal is to just try and have everyone on the same page rather than the disconnect between one being bad and wrong and the other one being right. So yeah, that's essentially why I'm really excited. And we do that by stepping outside of our conditioning, what we've been taught, and actually really just going for what you want to do.
So that will allow us to be willing to extend our future dreams. I love it. Thank you, Skye. Denise, why are you excited about tonight's topic?
Yes, very happy to be here tonight today for me to be here to share. Yeah, stretching borders is that I find that we think that it's hard thing that we have to go through, but it's actually not. It's about really coming back to ourselves and being open to see ourselves, to be able to see the potential and the more of ourselves. And then that expands out into everything we actually want to do in life. So we've got to come back in to go back out. That stretches everything.
Oh, I like that. Coming back in to go back out, and then it all stretches out. Love it. Thank you. I think we're going to have some interesting conversation tonight. And Sara, tell us
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, and your thoughts on this, stretching our borders, how far are we willing to extend our future dreams?
Well, thank you, everyone, and nice to see you all. I am excited about this topic because I feel like I'm living it in real time. I am a travel storyteller, an international public speaker, and author, and founder of the travel inspiration site Embolden Adventures. And I have walked away from a 20+ year career, and I'm in the process of putting to bed my life as I knew it in New York City. So I'm in the process of stretching a new goal, a new dream, and kind of seeing where it goes and discovering myself in the process.
Oh, you've got feet on the ground in this one, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you do. Okay. Are you ready to get ready started with our questions? Let's see how we can play off of each other and bounce that ball around. I've got 5 questions. Chances are we'll only get to 2, maybe 2.5. We'll see how far we can go. Okay. Our first question is, how do our past experiences and present circumstances influence the scope and ambition of our future dreams? Do you want me to repeat that one? How do our past experiences and present circumstances influence the scope and ambition of our future dreams? And since Sara has feet on the ground in this one, I'm going to start with you.
I like this question because, as I mentioned, I'm leading my dream kind of discovery as we speak. And I think what my past experiences and my present circumstances are helping me kind of discover as I continue to uncover this beautiful dream to see it to fruition. It has a lot to do with what feels right and what doesn't feel right. And I think by following your joy and understanding that this is excitable, this is what's getting me up in the morning and focused and wanting to deliver on some, great workflow, is why I want to continue to, allow for this dream to unfold. In my past situations, I found myself unhappy and, struggling and stressed out and, all these kind of negative, heavy, dense, more sort of emotions. And it led me to a surrender point to say, you know what, no more, I'm leaving and I'm walking away. But currently, I'm now building off of experience and in my reinvention. So what feels right, what gets me excited, what gets me up in the morning to write my book, for instance, is why I feel like I'm on the right path. And I can't wait to see it come to the conclusions I want to see it go to.
Well, I hope we'll hear about that someday in the future. Skye, would you like to build on that? I'm happy to repeat the question if you like.
That's okay. Yes. Like I 100% agree with what Sara says. It's like even myself moving out of a standard career and into what I'm doing now. And it's, our past experiences allow us to sort of step into those things. And then, our current circumstances have the ability to have us open up and go, well, is this really what I want? Does this feel right? Just because everyone says that this is what I should be doing, if it doesn't feel right, then, and as Denise can connect back in, open up. So then you're like, okay, this is what's going to bring me joy. This is going to bring me happiness, and then following that. And I think there's been, even in present circumstances, there's been a lot of influence, whether that's through social media, whether that's through television or anything like that, to, almost go against the grain and be like, you get to choose. You get to choose what lights you up and you get to choose to follow that.
Thank you. It's funny because I come from a different generation from both of you. And back in my generation, we really didn't have much choice as to what our future was going to be. Yes, we were free to make choices and we were free to go after the education we wanted, but the scope of the jobs, the careers, the joy that we could follow was very limited. And if we went against the grain and said, oh no, I'm just going to follow my joy, people would look at you like, what? Are you some kind of crazy person? And for most of my life, I've always gone against the grain. I've always chosen the path that nobody else chose. And I broke ground for people, in the people that knew me and were kind of shocked that I would do that because I'd always been such a good little girl. And I'm going to say that it did give me a lot of joy to make those leaps. I think I'm going to turn it over to Denise now because I'm not a panelist, but I had to throw that in.
No, I was thinking about that as well. It's so beautiful that we've got 2 older generation and 2 younger generation, and coming. That's where I went, is from that place of that it was very narrow for us, in the sense for the older generation. And actually, we're not old for past generation, I'd say.
You're not.
No, we're not old from past generation, but it was very different in the sense that it was a narrow, and if you stepped off that narrow path, you were, you were really heavily judged by many people. So it took me quite some time to get past that and to find the joy for me to step into. And yes, it's, it's not just, it is generational. So we have all this generational conditioning that influences our circumstances. For you and I, Sue, in the past generation, that was very much the case, where Skye and Sarah, their generation is just stepping out into their joy. Yeah, so for us, it was I feel that we started setting the path, but you guys have just really taken it and run with it. And it's seeing the influence of past generations and breaking that barrier and really feeling that, because we think it's our fault that we can't do what we want to do, but it's a generational impact that comes down the line.
It's conditioning.
Yeah,
it's conditioning, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And it's breaking that conditioning to actually step into our own joy, how we want things to be for ourselves. And, and the influence of past can have an impact. So it's just coming back in and working through that and allowing yourself and being open to feel all of that, to break through to the joy and the excitement of what's to come.
What I absolutely love about this conversation, and we've only just touched on the first question, is that we are already showing the disparity between different generations and how this concept of living into your joy and bringing joy into your choices has evolved over the past 70 years when you think about it. And that it's 70 years is such a short period of time. And I think our audience, if they're watching and listening on the replay, I hope that they are just totally going, whoa, what did they just say? That's what I'm hoping for. Okay, question number 2. Okay, I'm just going to go in order. What are some common barriers or limitations that prevent people from extending their future dreams beyond conventional boundaries? Sara, let's start with you on this one. Again.
Yeah, I'd like to build upon, what you and Denise and Skye was saying. I really think to answer this question about barriers and limitation has a lot to do with belief systems, right? And mindset. And so I've talked about this a few times now in kind of wherever I like to kind of opine on this kind of beautiful topic of growth is a growth mindset, right? Fixed mindset versus growth mindset. And when you have a fixed mindset, you're kind of stuck in this kind of limiting belief. This it has to be this way, it has to be perfect, it has to be outlined in this sort of kind of path, right? And if you veer off, it's scary and it's unnavigatable. Whereas a growth mindset allows for change, it allows for mistakes, it allows for growth to continue to learn and go beyond what is, conceivable. So I think that's how I would like to answer this question about limitations, is if we decide there are none and we are putting our joy into allowing ourselves to mess up a little bit and keep on going and keep on trying on. What is it? Keep on, I don't know what that is.
It's called keep on keeping on.
Yeah. Thank you. And honestly, I think that sort of embracing of that mindset of can do, I'll try it, I'll give it a shot, no pressure, is aligning with the bigger kind of story that's going on around the world of this awakening and kind of structures breaking down and people putting their foot down and saying, I don't like it, no more, which is why I hit that surrender point. I worked in finance for 20 years across the spectrum in New York City, banking and you name it, renewable energy, government, and it just wasn't working anymore around me and it wasn't working for me. So I had no choice but to say no more. And now I'm in this situation of reinvention and it's beautiful.
And you've broken the barriers that held you back for 20 years. Conventionality didn't work for you. Thank you. Skye, what are some common barriers or limitations that prevent people from extending their future dreams beyond conventional boundaries?
Well, I think, yeah, really, Sarah just sort of nailed it on the head, really. And it is a lot of the times our beliefs, and our sort of mindset and all of those things, but sort of build on top of that, you can come up against, the belief structures of the people around you. So, as you and Denise were saying about, past generations, and there wasn't really a lot of choice. It was just like you had to, do the thing, and it had to be in the line and all those sort of things, like, and thank you for like the younger generation. I'm an elder millennial, so I'm kind of half in both. And I think that was a really tricky thing, was, breaking free of that and breaking free of that conventionality, because I did have the conditioning of, once you finish school, you had to get a job, and, all of those sort of things. And that, and then I still remember, even, I think it was 5 years ago, when I sort of went, no, I'm not doing this conventional muggle job thing anymore. I've got 2 kids and I need to make this work for me. And how am I going to do that? Because sort of the system's not designed for you to succeed, and that's sort of my belief. So I help and I teach people, and I have a beautiful friend, the same thing, and I'm like, make the system work for you. Do what you want to do, and at the moment she's running around, like, starting market stalls and doing lots of creativity stuff, and she's having so much fun selling all of her creativity stuff, and that's allowing her some time and grace to be able to sort of leave, because she works 2 jobs, one of her jobs that she's not enjoying, and, is really sort of draining on her energy. And, even when I said to my mum, who's elder generational, that I was leaving hairdressing and I was going to start my business, like, she couldn't understand it, because to me, I was leaving safety and security. And like that whole change is scary thing, so, like, me personally, I had to sort of break through other people's beliefs of me and what I should be doing, because I was in that middle generation, and I still see it today, where, other people's belief systems come out in sort of judgments and projections and all that sort of stuff, because, when you come out and break the mold, it's very triggering for other people. So that's sort of, yeah, I feel one of the, limitations, if you allow it to be a limitation, is, the other people's beliefs of you, not just your own.
And there's also that sense, I think, that if you break with convention, that you will be shunned. The people that you trusted and loved won't love you anymore, and they won't trust you anymore. So you'll be kind of tossed out of the tribe, and you'll be on your own, and out there all alone in a wilderness of joy and bliss, but all alone. So it's a tough choice to make, to break with convention. Even for people in your generations, that while you have the acceptance of your peers, there's still the acceptance of society. And society, I think society lags behind your peers. Now we're going to turn it over to Denise. So the question was, what are some common barriers or limitations that prevent people from extending their future dreams beyond conventional boundaries?
I really loved how Skye touched on safety and security, because we all think that safety and security is the job, is the house, is the family, is the conventional way of living according to society. And that is what prevents a lot of people, because they don't want to get out of the norm. They feel that they have to stay there. So they dream the dreams, and they go, it's all about the what if. What if this, if I had enough money, I could do this. What if I, step out? But, by stepping out, and there's no lie about it. There's no sense lying about it. It is hard. It's going to be challenging. Stepping into your joy is challenging, because you go against everything that you've ever known. You go against everything you've ever do. And you go against everybody else. So in a sense, it's a step of courage to step into your joy. And that's what prevents a lot of people, because they don't want, it's that, what I've learned is people love to stay in the discomfort, because they don't want to because they think the uncomfortable is a lot harder than the discomfort that they're already in.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think a lot of people prevent themselves from doing that. But, you know, it is hard, it is challenging, but the magic and the bliss and the joy on the other side is so far greater than where you already are in the discomfort you're in.
I think I'm going to ask a question that's not on the list. Based on, and I'm going to ask Denise to start because she kind of triggered this thought. So here we've got all of this wonderful advice, and it is such brilliant advice about stepping into the unconventional and breaking the mold and starting on a life path that may make you incredibly happy in the long run. But when people reach hit that barrier, they hit that roadblock, the first roadblock that shakes their confidence that maybe they did a dumb thing. And I'm going to ask each one of you, Denise, what would be your best piece of advice when that happens?
Well, it is going to happen. It is going to happen. You are going to hit those roadblocks, hit the wall. It all feels a mess. It's untangling. That's what it's supposed to do. So if you go into it being open to, okay, this is supposed to happen. It's supposed to feel this way. It's supposed to, and really feel what comes up, because when we take an action, there is a reaction according to the universal laws, right? So it's a feedback. It's a feedback to say, okay, how am I feeling about this? What are the emotions that are coming up? What are the stories? And usually the stories are about the emotions that I haven't had the opportunity to feel because of the story. So it's about being able to sit there and go, oh, okay, I'm really feeling all this anxiety. Feel the anxiety, go into the tears, because that's the discomfort. That's the challenge in breaking your barriers. Breaking, oh, I can go into anxiety, but I'm going to be okay. Oh, I can feel the frustration and really feel the emotional core of that. I'm going to be okay. So I don't have to change my world in one big leap. It's about, okay, what's the feedback for me here? I've taken this action. I'm feeling this way. What's the feedback for me here? And you follow that thread, because I'm always about following the thread to the core of the story, to the emotion that I never had the opportunity to feel that is playing out and influencing my present moment. And so all I need to do is feel the emotions. And once I feel the emotion, that core has no impact on me anymore. And then I go to the next step, and then something else, there's another feedback for me to show me. And each time I move through something, it opens me up to greater things for myself. And a beautiful thing to remember is, don't have no expectation. It's the joy, it's the ride, it's the journey. Because when we place expectation, there's a barrier to begin with. So allow yourself to experience. Because I'm sure Sarah would say there's so much joy just in the experience. Yeah.
That was great advice. The perfect advice. Skye, I'm going to ask you to I'm going to ask you to answer that question, the same question. So what is one piece of advice you could give to the person who broke with tradition and has now hit their first roadblock?
Yeah. Well, without actually obviously repeating what Denise said, because yeah, she just hit the nail on the head. But something that I like to, I don't know, tell clients, tell people is, welcome to the beautiful human experience. You know, sometimes we're not supposed to have it all figured out and have all your ducks in a row. And sometimes the way that we figure that out is by hitting that roadblock, is by getting that feedback. So, as Denise said, you can pull that thread and find where it leads. And, that's going to help you in the next part of your journey. It's a very interesting thing, I think, as we grow and as we become adults, we all of a sudden put this expectation upon ourselves that we have to have the whole thing like fucking figured out right now, this second. And if we make a mistake, it's like, oh my God, I'm a failure. But when we think back, and this is something I use, it's like you'll never tell a baby that's learning to walk, walking's not for you when they first fall down. No, it's like, come on, let's get back up. Let's keep going. Let's try something else. Let's, different technique, all of those sort of things. And, I think whether that's expectations that are being placed upon us or, whatever the story is when we're an adult, we lose that ability to be in learning state. And learning state is making mistakes, is being messy, is, all of the things. So you can learn and uncover and then find the right way that's for you.
Love it. See, you expanded on what Denise said very nicely. Thank you. So getting messy is okay. It has to happen. Yeah, it has to
Chaos
happen.
is a beautiful thing.
Oh God, yeah. Sara, what is one piece of advice you would give the person who just broke with tradition and has now hit their first roadblock? And I'm sure you've hit a
I'd
few.
like to.
I know I have.
Oh, plenty. And so I'd love to echo what Denise and Skye are saying. I think what Denise is saying is to trust the process, right? And you got to just roll with it, which is what Skye is saying. And that goes back to that growth mindset that things are going to go zigzag sometimes, and you just got to roll with the punches and just continue to learn from it. And for me, a lot of my personal story right now in the now, because we're in the now, we're always going to have to think about being in the now. When I decided to surrender, I didn't have a plan. I just said, I'm going to quit and I'm going to write a book. That's kind of what I declared to the gods in my kitchen. And then within months, I was like, well, then I'm going to sell my apartment in New York City. And that was in September 2022. And guess what? It's May 2024, my apartment is still for sale. So we're talking 20 months now and 3 real estate agents later, and this apartment still won't sell. That wasn't in my plan, right? So I'm rolling with it. I have my moments, I have my up moments, and I have my down moments, but it's the grand plan that I still see persevering and moving forward. And so as I continue to discover myself and continue to grow with this decision that I've made for myself, I'm realizing that there's a lot of healing that needs to be done, and healing is messy. And so you do have ups and downs moments because it's going to start to uncover. The light comes to the darkness and says, oh, you didn't, address this piece. And quite frankly, today I had an kind of an aha about my self-worth, right? And in my past experience, self-worth was predicated on your job title, right? Or your promotion, or what the external world, is what I heard before, puts upon us. Like the external world validates me because I'm so great in this position or this LinkedIn profile or my resume accolade, right? And then you realize that all gets ripped away, by choice in my case. And now it's like, well, where's my worth coming from? And then you think about, was I being used by that corporate environment? The answer is absolutely yes. Was I being abused by that corporate environment? The answer is absolutely yes. There's my New York right there, right? And so then you ask yourself, what would I do different now that I'm an entrepreneur? And now that I have to treat myself with joy and kindness because I am now responsible for me and my vision. And I can't blame anybody else. I can't blame the big bad boss or the micromanager or the toxic culture. That was the environment I was in my cubicle, in the fluorescent lights in a skyscraper on Park Avenue. I don't have anyone to blame but myself. And this is okay because now I'm accountable to me. And that's where I have to find my self-worth and my value. So it's an ongoing learning process. And I hope everyone's blessed with this opportunity to continue to face ourselves and grow and persevere and, find joy with ourselves and our decisions.
So what I just heard you say is beautiful, by the way. It was absolutely perfect. What I heard you say is that it's an ongoing process. This piece of advice is just remember that it's an ongoing process and that throughout the process, There will be moments when you uncover things that you have to heal, and take the time to heal. Do that work. Yeah. Denise, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I'd love to add on that because you pointed something out,
Please.
Sarah. It's up to you. So it's that real self-responsibility, taking ownership of absolutely everything that has happened in my life, and where I am now. So I think that's so beautiful. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, this is getting really deep. I'm really enjoying this. We have time for one more question. And it's actually the last question on the list, if you want to see it. What are the potential risks and rewards of extending our future dreams beyond what's familiar or expected? So what are the potential risks? And then balance that off with what are the potential rewards? Denise, I'm going to ask you to start.
Well, the potential risk is that I do it and it all goes wrong. So that just shows me what I shouldn't be doing. The reward is that I get to look at myself and go, okay, what do I truly want? Because that's what we're about, is just keep questioning ourselves on what is here for me, what is the truth of me. And I love how Sarah said, it's everything we do is such a healing process. The feedback is here for me to see, or to tell me, oh yes, this is the way we go, because it's flowing. Oh no, this is not the way we go, it's not flowing. So the risk is it's either yes or no, it's loving or unloving. If it's loving, that's the reward. If it's unloving, that's I've risked and realized that it's an unloving action that I've taken for myself. And the reward is there's bigger and better for me.
And that's
in everything.
Beautiful.
It's just opening me up to see the truth of everything. Is what we want. We want to see the truth and the truth of ourselves, the truth of our heart, because we can grow in our mind, but it's our heart that leads us. It's our heart that goes out there and knows what we want. Our soul comes in and it's the messages. It's like those little whispers. It's the messages on what we're doing that are telling us, no, this is not the direction. This is where, look again, have another think about it. Feel what's actually really going on here. So to me, it's really it's such the feedback. Yes, I'll go and try this because this is what looks really good for me. And then I go and do it and go, oh, okay, that was good, but no, that's not for me. Always the feedback. It's like the job. I go to do a job and I find out, no, this is not what I love. This is not what I want to do. I don't want to sit under the fluorescent lights, 9, 10, 12 hours a day. It does not light me up. And I can shift away from that. So the risk is I get to change into the best version of myself. And the reward is I get to live the best version of myself.
Ooh, these answers are getting so juicy.
And just remember, it's healing yourself all along the way.
Yeah.
Because you're actually coming back to yourself to expand back outwards.
And when you think about it, you say you're coming back to heal yourself along the way. It isn't just you that you're healing. It's that history, that ancestry that is built into you from generation upon generation upon generation, that is also being spoken to and experiencing your new experience. You're changing that line of experience.
Absolutely. And you think you're just changing it. We change it forward. So we see the beautiful from these ladies here, how they've gone earlier than what we ever did, and going, no, enough is enough. And from past generations, they get to see everything so they can do the same for themselves. We think that it just affects ourselves, but it doesn't. We touch everyone. We touch everyone. So the more of us that wake touches everybody, not just in here on earth, in this living, it's also the spiritual world. because they go, oh, okay, I get to heal myself still.
That's true.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get to heal my wounds. Oh, that person went through the same. Oh, I know the answer now. So they get to heal themselves. So even in the spirit world, the generations change there as well to be able to be the better version of themselves. So it just doesn't stop here.
No, it
It's just so
starts here.
magical. Yes.
It starts here.
It's magical.
Skye,
I'll
you're
sit
also
now.
an expert on, thank you. You're also an expert on epigenetics and this whole past life story that gets told in every generation forward as well. Would you like to step in with your thoughts on this?
Well, yeah,
What are
definitely.
the
And sorry, go.
Well, the question was, what are the potential risks and rewards of extending our future dreams beyond what's familiar or expected? But it seems that we've shifted now into another question. So you can answer whichever part feels right.
Yeah, definitely. Well, even just as what Denise said, like, the potential risk is, yeah, okay, it can all go to hell in a handbasket, but you know, is that still better than where you are now? And when it, because as we just sort of discussed, it does, you're going to hit roadblocks, you're going to hit, challenges, all of those things. Is that going to stop you, or are you going to learn and grow and keep moving? Human beings thrive on challenge. We thrive on evolution and growth and, all of the things. But I also really wanted to sort of touch on, I guess, more of connection basis. So one of the risks and that you can face is that people that don't understand what you're doing or don't believe what you're doing, that are kind of want to stay in the norm and be stuck there, will probably fall away. So you'll probably lose people along the way, and probably people that you really care about. And that's okay. You can still love and care about them over there. But the beautiful thing is, and I feel like the reward to that is, you open yourself up to all of the beautiful, authentic relationships that will support you no matter what, who, always like be in your corner. Even if they're on a slightly different journey, they're like, I love what you're doing. It's fantastic. Keep going. It's cool. Like, and like as you're saying, that's kind of how we do touch onto other generations. It's sort of also how we heal past generations, is by breaking free of that mold and being like, I don't need your validation. I don't need society's validation. I can validate myself because I know who I am, and I don't need anyone else to tell me that. And, if you are here for the ride, cool. If you're not, also cool. I still love you. And, I'm not going to sit there and bash about what you're doing. I'm just going to be over here doing me, in a sense. And I really believe that shows epic strength and courage. And even I was having a conversation with someone. I was working at a healing festival a couple of weekends ago. And she was sharing her story, and I was just like, just out of curiosity, like, how old are you? She's like, oh, I'm 22. And I'm like, oh, I love this. We are like getting, younger and younger when we step in and go, no, screw this, I'm doing this. I'm not going to do what everyone tells me to do. I'm going to do this. So it's really cool to see.
I love the way our society is going with this whole concept of breaking with old traditions that were just so restrictive and so enslaving. And I like that we're stepping into that new energy of, I think I can live from joy, not from restriction. So it's wonderful to hear you express that. Sara, thoughts?
I like a lot what Denise and Skye are saying. And I think what you're saying, Skye, is, that risk that you turn lemons into lemonade, right? You find your tribe that vibes, right? As people that aren't in your kind of, sphere of vibration and joy just fall off. And that is a risk, but it's a reward in some ways too, because you're now in a kind of new supportive environment that gets you to where you want to go in terms of your goals. And I think what Denise is saying is also important because, risks, I think, can be somewhat superficial, but the reward is authenticity. And that authenticity is a great sort of example for others to follow and try to, thrive in their own right. I have another example where I was just at my old softball alumni softball game last weekend. And, I post a lot on Facebook about places I go around the world. And my old softball coach from 20 plus years ago is my friend on Facebook. And he was like, "It's so great to see you, Sara. I'm so inspired by what you do." And I had no idea he's been watching me. So, you don't realize your authenticity does have ripples into the ethers, and you do give joy to others who are like, "I remember her when she was 16, and now look at her. She's on a mountain somewhere in Africa." So you don't realize your impact that you can have on others by being your authentic self. And in terms of risks, though, what I would say is that I think they kind of are smoke and mirrors in some respects because it's as if you're setting an expectation. And in my case, I'll use an example like I'm self-publishing my first book out of a trilogy based on my travel adventures around the world and my own personal story of perseverance and being reborn and transforming, to today where I am. And one risk I'm taking is that it doesn't break even and I don't sell enough books and now I'm out a bunch of money. And, that's a real risk. It's a monetary risk. That's my business, head talking. But is it a failure? No, because it could pay in dividends down the line. One person could read my book and just like my softball coach saying, "Oh, this is so cool," and then decide that they want to be inspired, be emboldened, as I call my travel inspiration company, to get people to see the world. And so, you don't know the impact you'll have on what you do. And it may be a failure or maybe a risk that, has transpired, but it still has some sort of reward. And I could look back when that book does get published this year and be like, I'm proud of that book, despite, what the metrics may say or not say. Maybe it does hit it out of the park. And I do score that home run with this book. And maybe it becomes a movie for all we know. You never know. Shoot for the stars. You don't know what's going to unfold. And it may come 20 years from now. It may pay in dividends down the line. But today or tomorrow, it may not seem like it was a quote success. So I think it's based on how we define things, and we should not have definitions, is really my kind of the summary of what I want to say to this. Don't define anything, don't have expectations, just do and let it just trust the process, let it unfold.
Mm. Well, our audience has had some very interesting, cohesive advice and thoughts and wishes and dreams and experiences to experience with us around this topic of expanding our boundaries, expanding our borders, and risking our future dreams. We've come to that moment in our conversation when each of our experts really does get to introduce themselves, what they do, where they're from, what their passions are, and also to let us know what it is they bring our audience tonight in the way of some kind of an offer or a gift. So, Denise, I think we're going to start with you, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I help and I support and teach people to self-heal because I think that's the most important thing that it should be it is a birthright to be able to heal yourself, and everyone should have that opportunity. And it's just a lost gift that we have. It's always been there, and I just help people to bring that out, to be able to self-heal and live the life that they want to live. Because when we're healing, it opens us up to move into the spaces that we want to move into the life that we want to do, how we want to be, why we want to be, to really know the whole senses of ourselves, to feel what we feel, how we feel, why we feel, everything about ourselves, to really own ourselves, our self-responsibility, and create our own life to live, like all of us are here are doing, where we're stepping out and owning ourselves. So I support teach people to do that, and I'd love to offer. My website's down at the moment, so it won't go up, but I'll put in my email address, and if anyone just wants to chat and figure out where they are, just figure out where they are and where they want to go and what's the first step for them. I can do an hour to an hour and a half with somebody who just wants to, okay, this is all new to me, or yes, I know where I'm going. What's my next step? Just to have a chat and see where that takes us. And if I can't, and if they want more, that's fabulous. Let's talk about that. But if not, I know a load of people who I can send them to. So, because everyone should have the opportunity to live their truth.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Denise. You're always such a pleasure to have on these panels.
Thank you.
You're a generous soul. Skye, would you please let people know who you are, how they can find you? Now, your links will be put into the comments after the video has been downloaded. So you don't need to worry about that. But tell us who you are, what you're excited about for your business, and what offer you have or gift you have for our audience.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, I'm Skye. And, as I sort of was mentioning to you earlier, I'm a shadow integration specialist. So I really specialize in shadow work, integrating the parts of you that you have disowned and disconnected in order to be liked, loved, and accepted, which in itself is stretching the borders of, conventional who you should be. But not only that, healing the generational trauma, witch wounds, and past life trauma. And honestly, that brings me joy. I don't have a sad life, I promise. I love talking about it, and all those sort of things. I have currently 2 spaces open in my 4-month mentorship, which is Unleash Your Inner Warrior, which I am so loving. I've been having some beautiful entrepreneurs coming through so they can just break through and know their own self-worth to actually continue on, on their journey of doing what they want and what brings them joy, which is super fun. I have just completed my Shadow Forge 6-week shadow work course, which is beautiful for beginners if they kind of don't know what shadow work is and just kind of want to dip their toe in. So that is there. And as a beautiful gift, like Denise, my website has been down for a wee bit now, but it has just finished and is back up. Yay. But I have a beautiful freebie vault. So now that I have rejigged and changed everything, you just have to register once and you get access to all of my, downloads and free PDFs. And I think there's a free course in there as well. So, I'd love to put that forward if anyone wants to just really get started on their journey and don't know really where to start that. And you can get some awesome value and some really good starting points in there. I am in Western Australia, but I do work with people all over the world because we have this beautiful thing called Zoom. And I get to connect with people all over the place, which is amazing.
Oh, thank you so much, Skye. That's just lovely. And Sara, your turn.
So,
Do a little brag.
okay, everyone. I'm again Sara Roccisano. I am an author, a travel storyteller, a world traveler, an international public speaker, and founder of the award-winning travel inspiration site Embolden Adventures. So if you go onto emboldenadventures.com and sign up for the newsletter, you can receive the prologue to my upcoming book, the first of the trilogy series about awakening and radiating, surrender and adventure, and transforming and reborn. So that's my gift to you all. Here is definitely chapter 25 now. I just finished writing tonight. One more chapter to go, but very excited about this book. It's a very interesting book about start me out in the end of 2019. I was working downtown, literally on Wall Street, and I answered the call to adventure. And in early 2020, before the world shut down, I went on a 5-week adventure from Morocco to the Amazon rainforest and onwards to Bolivia, and coming home as New York was shutting down for coronavirus, but as a transformed person. So I hope you all get to read the book. It's a beautiful book. I'm very excited about it. And there's more to come with Emboldened Adventures, so stay tuned.
Lovely. Thank you so much. I'm Sue Rumack, and what am I? I am a life coach, an overwhelm strategist, an empath shielding trainer. I'm an author, I'm a channeler, and I'm an energy worker. So I wear many, 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 many hats. Over a very long life, all of these skills have been honed. At the moment, I am offering Shielding Basics workshop. It's an empath Shielding Basics workshop series, and we have 7 seats left. And it's a 6-session series where you will learn how to use energy, mind, and body to protect yourself from all the negativity, all the control, all the pain, all the fear, all the hostility that gets thrown at you. So that's what I'm doing right now. All that information is available on my website, or you can contact me via my website, which will be down below. And I look forward to speaking with you and talking with you. I offer a 60 to 90-minute discovery session, Next Steps Life Blueprint. And all you have to do when you go to my website is click on any blue button, and you will access the calendar to set up your call. And I'm looking forward to talking to anybody and everybody that wants to talk about being an empath, being in overwhelm, learning how to heal your mind and your body and protect yourself at the same time. It's very exciting. So I look forward to meeting everybody sometime in the future. And we'll meet again on another one of these panels as well. So I'd like to thank each and every one of our panelists for bringing their brilliance and their hearts and their souls into this conversation and showing us the possibilities and the risks and the rewards of just opening up to possibility and joy and excitement and breaking some rules. I'd like to also let you know, perhaps Sophia could come on camera with us for a moment. We do have sacredyou.love, and I'd like her to take a moment to let us all know what it is that Sacred You is offering us at the moment.
Thank you, Sue, and thank you. And I was going to let you to let us know, but it's not a problem next time. But thank you so much for facilitating a wonderful panel again. I've really enjoyed sitting here listening to all your amazing questions and all the incredible answers from these I'm going to say I mean 3 amazing and beautiful women who are sharing their experience. So thank you. We do have some people watching. Before I go into what's on for Sacred You, just want to give a shout out to Donna, who's saying hello, Donna Elaine, and we do have other people watching us. So please pop any comments in the comments really quickly so we can get them. Now, for Sacred You. Now, first of all, coming up in 4 days' time, we have Mastering the Law of Attraction, which our beautiful Denise is joining us for. Yay, looking forward to that, Denise, Mastering the Law of Attraction. And in answer to your questions, Sue, Sacred You, come and join us just for $1. Just $1 American dollar, US dollar, Australia, it's about $1.30, $1.40, something like that. Try us out for 2 weeks. You get to try Sue's incredible tribe, Life Force Activators. Oh my God. If you ever want to know about how to play with energy, how to increase your energy, your vibrancy, everything like that, Sue's tribe is the one to check out. Plus, we've got about 20 other tribes, from Law of Attraction to feng shui, to human design, to empowering yourself, and quite a few more. So do click on the links that our beautiful Maymuna has been putting in the comments. Thank you, Maymuna. Come and check us out. Come and join us. Let's have some fun. So thank you again, everyone, for joining to this panel. I've really, really loved it. So really been appreciated. Thank you.
Well,
ever so-
it could not have happened without all these beautiful women. So
I know.
thank you for bringing your brilliance to
I
our
know.
panel tonight.
It's incredible,
Much
isn't it,
appreciated.
who the universe brings together to have these discussions, and everyone has their own point of view, their own expertise, but everyone is kind of like perfect for it. So, and I've been really enjoying listening to everyone. And Sarah, I look forward to reading your books too. So thank you, everyone, and we will see you next time.